Sex begets more sex.
Well, that's a concept you talk about all the time now. When did you first realize that sex begets more sex?
7-year sexless marriage. Grant and I got together, and
Whoa.
and he was coming out of a 17-year marriage.
And they hit the sexual revolution.
And the revolution started at that point. And I mean, we just, boom. And I remember having sex the night before with Grant for, I don't know, hours. And the next morning in my studio, first thing I do when I get there is I start masturbating. And I'm going, this is insane.
What's wrong with me?
Well, no, I liked it.
But you're questioning. Like, if you had sex last night.
And then, well, no, you do wonder if you're turning into a sex addict.
I think they call it a nymphomaniac. No one wants to be a nympho.
I do.
I do. I have no problem with it.
Anyway, and I told Grant about it. He said, yes, sex begets more sex. Think about it. Now, I do know this, that we all know this scientifically. A body at rest
will remain at rest.
A body in motion
will remain in motion.
That's it with sex. A body that's
so it's physics, the physics of sex? Is
yes.
that what we're talking about
we
here?
are. Actually, I think that's what it is, the physics of sex. If you don't get it started and you don't maintain or sustain it, it'll go away.
So do you think that's why we repress masturbation in children?
Exactly. Bingo. If you never get that sense going, if the kid never gets those good feelings, well...
You could go a whole life without it.
And that's, my mother used to say that, what you don't know, you can't miss.
So it's interesting because I had the same thing where I kind of went to a little sexual revolution. I started having a lot of sex, and like the more sex I had, the more sex I wanted.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then you get that concept and you go, hold on, oh, got it. And that's like the physical side of sex.
Well, I think that also affects our thinking, mental and emotional.
Because you know what, you're thinking about what happened. You know what I mean? The night before.
You play it back.
You play it back in your mind. You're like, that was so hot.
The minute you start playing it back, then you want to masturbate.
That's the fantasy, right?
Yep, absolutely. So there it is. It's an amazing concept, and it's true for all of us. And that's one of the reasons why when you have a period of sex, you get a divorce or you break up or whatever, and it's like, oh, and then you don't do anything to activate it again. Then you just start sinking.
So you're saying that we have to be a little more proactive about our sexuality?
Yes. I went through a long period where I had to put it down on my calendar. A date with me.
Masturbate.
Yeah. The big M.
What's interesting now is I don't find myself watching pornography or going to sex parties like I did back in the day that kind of like launched my sexuality and all those experiences that I can think back on. And you made a comment, and you said when you think about sex, and you read about sex, and you practice sex,
and you teach sex, that's sex.
Exactly.
I certainly don't want to watch porn.
No, I feel like I've kind of graduated from it.
I would hope.
In many ways.
That's a good term. Let's hope. I hope that more of our young people will graduate from porn. Get over it.
And as a culture, so because it was very important for me. I watched a lot of pornography in the peer-to-peer days as an attorney, and it got me used to talking dirty, to see women talking dirty and saying things I'd never heard anyone say.
A lot of people learned in the beginning, the early stages of porn, they learned a lot about things you could possibly do. But now it's too formulaic. And also it's always been formulaic. Let me say it another way. It is our only form of sex education for the children. And by that I mean, kids 12, 13, 10, 15, it's too accessible. It's out. We're not going to be able to pull it back.
And so we have to complement the message.
And then,
I think that's the whole point.
It has to be better porn. And we have to...
And
we have to have good sex education.
And wouldn't it be great if we could just talk about sex? Just talk about it freely and openly.
That's what we do here.
Oh, we're doing it right now. Oh, I forgot.
Duh.
Well, if we could just talk about it, in kind of because sex, I think, is very political, and we never talk about the political side of it. And why is it so important to have dominion over your own body, know how to give yourself an orgasm, know how to communicate your sexual needs. Why is sexual independence and sexual freedom so important?
Otherwise, you're going to be dependent on someone else for sex, and they're not always going to be available, or they can manipulate you, or you will get abused, whatever. It's the same thing with money. Don't be dependent on someone for your money. Don't be dependent on someone for your sex, for your well-being, for your life.
Why?
Because it won't always be there.
So you're talking about happiness? Self-esteem?
Being fulfilled. Feeling good, yeah. Yeah, is that it? Is that what
Feeling
it's called?
good, is that what, yeah.
Happiness.
We could be happy.
Oh, imagine that. Happy. I'm happy.
I'm happy too. And we hope you're happy.
Yeah, we want you to be happy. And come on. Sex is the life force. It is the positive part of life. Otherwise, we're going to be like those jackasses in Washington trying to figure out who to bomb. That's their orgasm.
On that note.
On that note.
Have a lovely weekend.
Have orgasms. Have some fun. Sex isn't the only form of pleasure.
No.
A lot of things are pleasurable. Do more of it.